Hey guys, Trent here coming at you with another video. So today we're going to do some talk about promoted listings. So if you're new to my channel, welcome in. My name is Trent. I'm a part-time reseller on eBay. I do it for fun and profit, and I take you along for the journey. So please hit that subscribe button for more great videos in the future. So I had a subscriber ask me to do a video on promoted listings. I've talked about promoted listings and made a video or two in the past. I'll go ahead and leave those in the description box at the very beginning of the description box below. So I believe it was Alex Ryder that requested that. So thanks for the idea for the video, Alex, and I'll go ahead and do that. So just in case you're not caught up, it's been, I don't know if it's been a year, but it's been close to that that eBay rolled out promoted listings. Now, several months back, they made a change to it too. So just to recap, originally promoted listings were where you pay a little bit of extra fees at the end of your sale if you opt into promoted listings, and eBay puts your listing in a different portion of the search, basically in the promoted section. Now, in the past, before they made a change about maybe 6-7 months ago, I think it was, might not have been that long ago, but anyways, originally whenever you opted into a promoted listings, what would actually happen would be that you would have your regular listing wherever it falls into the search, and then you would also have a promoted listing that would sometimes come up for the same listing. So it would, in theory, sort of be like a duplicate listing. And that was really cool. I think eBay went away from that though because they didn't like all these double listings gumming up the search, I guess you could say. And I guess that sort of makes sense. You were kind of seeing like a bunch of the same listings getting spammed, right? So the change that eBay made, what they've done now is that whenever you select a promoted listing on your listing, you get, some of the time your item will be in the promoted listing section basically, and it will only be seen there. However, if it's not time for your listing to be promoted and it's not seen in the promoted listings column, section, whatever you want to call it, the promoted listing box in the search, it will instead be your regular listing, wherever your regular listing would fall into the search. So the way that promoted listings works is however percentage that you opt in to promote your listing, whatever rate you opt into, that percentage of the time, I guess you could say, your listing will be seen in the promoted section. And if it's not, you don't have to worry. It's still seen as a regular listing any other time. So that leads us to some pretty interesting questions that aren't very, necessarily very clearly answered. And I think it's a good point to make a video about this because I think it really just comes down to experience and how promoted listings works for you and your particular, sales model of the kind of items you source and sell. So the questions we're going to attempt to theorize about are going to be, one, what are the categories that you need to go ahead and opt into promoted listings for? And two, the big question I think is it worth your money? Are you opting into something and paying extra money when you didn't have to? It's a very good question, so let's go ahead and get into those. So question number one is, what categories should you opt into promoted listings? And my answer, generally speaking, to that is, other than based on your own experience, I would say that category isn't really where you need to be looking at whenever you're deciding whether to use promoted listings or not, or whether you're deciding how much of a percentage of promotion how much of a promotion rate you want to use. I think if eBay, has implemented this program, it seems to be fair. I get a handful of sales. So let me just say, for my personally in my store, I put promoted listings on every single active buy it now listing across the board. And I personally select the trending rate. And let me go ahead and give you a recap of what that means right now.
Okay, for trending rate, I'm in a listing here. So when you go down to the bottom of your listing, whenever you're deciding whether you're going to use promoted listings or not, you have here the percentage you are going to select, how much promotion you want to put on your item. So if it's a $40 item, free shipping, and I select 1%, it's going to be 40 cents I would pay if it sells via the promoted listings. And then right here it has an option for trending rate. And so that's eBay's recommendation based on the data analysis they have of other people selling this item. This is approximately the percentage that people are promoting that particular item. For this, I did a sell similar on a little Simba doll here, vintage Applause Simba doll. Anyways, the trending rate recommended by eBay was 6.4%. So if you want to use the trending rate, you can just click it and it automatically populates it in there. But you can put whatever percentage of promotion you wish.
Okay, so yeah, I use the trending rate on all my listings. You don't have to do that. You can just select 1% or some smaller percent that you feel is applicable to the amount of money you're willing to pay for promotion. But as far as what categories to select, I don't think you need to look at it that way. I think you need to more realistically look at how uncommon is your item. Let's say I'm selling this Nerf Vortex Praxis, okay? You go on eBay right now and there's tons and tons and tons of people selling them, right? So putting no promoted listing or putting a very low percentage of promoted listing, I mean, will it eventually sell? Probably, if your price is competitive. You have to keep your prices competitive anyways, I would say, even if they're promoted. You don't have to go rock bottom, but you still need to be competitive. You can't, promoted listings doesn't give you an ability to overprice your items necessarily. But so the market is saturated with these, right? So you're going to want to opt into promoted listings for something like this and probably select the trending rate. And I found that the trending rates for items, I mean, I'm willing to pay pretty much every time because like I said, I opt into 100% promoted listings. And by the way, based on my experience with being opting into promoted listings 100% across the board and at the trending rate, I see a nice mix of sales that are promoted and non-promoted. So to me, it seems nice and balanced. So the way I look at it is I'm paying a little extra here and there to sell my items quicker. And guess what? I'm not selling every single one and having to pay a fee promoted anyways. So it works out really nice. So to me, it seems like I'm getting a little bit of benefit. Paying for that benefit, of course, but still, let's go back to the scenario. So you got this, there's a bunch of them out there. You probably want to promote it because you're going to want to get your time in the promotion slot because a lot of people are selling this. Now let's talk about a different kind of item. Here is a 1993 never opened generic Phasertron by Fischl. Not too many people out there selling these on eBay. Probably if you look up this item on eBay, I'm gonna guess I'm the only one that has it for sale. I hope I don't sell it, by the way. This thing's awesome. I like to just have it in my display. I paid $1.99 for it at the thrift store. I got it for sale for like $50-ish because it's just like, I'm gonna get a good profit for it if I sell it, but if I don't, I'm not disappointed. Anyways, so I probably don't have to put very much of a promotion on this, right? Or a promotion at all, because the right buyer is just going to have to come along and see this and want it, right? That's going to be collecting that kind of stuff. So the point I'm trying to get at is that it depends on how uncommon your item is, really. If you're selling Levi's jeans, you're probably going to want to lean into promotion, right? Because everybody's selling Levi's jeans. But if you're selling that one pair of Maurice Malone Mo jeans that nobody else has on eBay, you probably can get away with doing very little or no promotion because you have no competition. So that's a good way to summarize it. Based on competition, you have to research your items like you do anyways whenever you sell. You go in and look at comps. If nobody has it for sale and you're the only one selling it, then you're golden. You don't have to worry about promotion, I would say. One idea I've come up with is, and I've thought about trying it, I might actually start doing this with my new items. Maybe I will and do an experiment. Start your items with no promoted listings, or maybe just the 1% promoted listings, which is very, very small amount. So that's another thing. If you're kind of concerned about promoted listings or you're not sure, just do the 1%, the very bare minimum, and you'll maybe get a little benefit. But if your items sell promoted listings, you're barely paying anything for promotion. So there is that. You can try that. But the business model I have with dealing with promoted listings, if you're new and you're trying to figure out what is right for you, my recommendation would be to start out your listings with no promotion or just the 1% and let those items ride for 30 days or 60 days, whatever you're comfortable with. And it'll be very easy to keep track of, because whenever you go down your listings, you'll be able to see whether they're promoted or not. That's one of the boxes that's in, when you go and look at all your listings. Let me show you that right now.
Okay, so I'm in my active listings now, and you can see here there's a promoted listings column, and it tells you whether they're promoted or not and what your rate is in comparison to the trending rate. So it'd be, if you wanted to start a business model where you list your items with only 1% promotion at the beginning, or with no promotion at the beginning, you could go down the list in time order and see which ones have been promoted and which ones have not. And unless you have thousands and thousands of items, this is not going to be too hard to keep track of. And then so you could simply go in and edit these, and you can simply go in right here on each item and edit the promotion level whenever you see fit. That'd be a really good way to do it if you wanted to be sure and minimize your promoted listing spending. You wanted to make sure so that would be a way to ensure that you don't pay promoted listing fees when the item would have sold anyways, in theory. Okay, you could list an item for 30 days, maybe 60 days, and if it sells, great. You didn't have to pay a promoted listing. Well, if it's been 30 or 60 days and you want to try to blow this item out, or increase the chances of it selling, I should say, you could then edit the promoted listing and add an actual promotion to it.
So yeah, you can list your items when you first list them without a promotion or just 1%, and see how many of those sell after 30 days. And so this way you're spending as little money on promotion as possible. And so maybe after 30 or 60 days, the items didn't sell. Maybe you could relist them with a promotion, or just update them to have a promotion on them. Might be good to just start it off as a fresh listing and see what happens. And then you could opt into whatever promotion percentage you feel is appropriate for the amount of money you're willing to spend. So question number 2 is, are the promoted listings worth it? Is it just eBay squeezing extra money out of us that the item would have sold anyways? eBay is all about making sales so they can collect those final value fees. If we don't opt into promoted listings, does it mean we're not going to make any sales? The answer to that, I'm sure, is no. You could not put promoted listings on your items, and I'm sure you're still going to make a good handful of sales. But you're not playing along with eBay's game plan, so I think it's quite possible your sales won't be quite as high or as consistent. And again, my big point is, even with the promoted listings turned on 100%, all I can do is tell you my general statistics to try to give you an idea on whether it's something that you want to do. And my statistics are basically, generally speaking, whenever I took an analysis of it, promoted listings were about 60-ish% of my listings. Now that is with me, again, selecting the trending rate. 4 to 7% on average, I think, is what the trending rate usually is on a particular category. Again, you don't have to do that. You could do it. You could just do a blanket, whatever, 2%, 3%, 4%, whatever you feel comfortable with. And the good thing about it is, again, you're not going to make every single sale of promoted listings just because you have promoted listings turned on. So it's pretty cool. One last thing I would like to mention is a little tip that I've shown before. I'd like to show it again just to remind people, or if you've never seen it before. And I'll leave a link to this in the description of this video too. I made a video about it, but I'm going to go ahead and show it again in this video. Just do a recap on this. And what I'm talking about is how promoted listing fees are calculated. And let me go into a little screenshot of that and show you how it's calculated. It's very important because if you utilize promoted listings, you might want to consider not offering free shipping on anything anymore. You might want to break it up into shipping and sale fee, to where you pay less promoted listing fees whenever your item sells promoted listings. Let me show you what I'm talking about right now.
Okay, so let me show you an example of how to save money when you're using promoted listings, because it turns out that eBay, whenever they're calculating the promoted listing fee, they only count what is in this box right here, your buy it now price. So let's say in this scenario, the total price I expect to get from my customer for this item is $40, okay? So that being the case, I put $40 in the buy it now price, and I have free shipping. So total price paid by the customer, $40. So promoting that listing at a 1% promotion rate would equal that I pay 40 cents if the item sells via promoted listings. So keep that number in mind, 40 cents at 1%. Now, let's break the cost in half between shipping and the sale price. So I'm going to put $20 shipping here. Not free shipping, so $20 in shipping. And then now take $20 out of here, so make it $20. So now still $40 total paid by the customer, $20 in the sale price, and $20 for shipping. But the fees that I'll pay is cut in half because since the promotion only counts for the sale price, that money that's paid in the shipping section does not get taxed by this promoted listings fee rate. So if you're going to lean heavily into promoted listings, my recommendation and the way that I've augmented my business model for eBay is so I charge as much shipping as I can get away with to go ahead and pay as little fees as possible here, especially since I use the trending rate for most of my items or all my items. So you see here $1.28 at the trending rate if I were to sell it with like that. But if I do free shipping and go back to that $40 up here, instead I would pay double that, almost, a little over $2.50, and that can really add up, especially if you're using the trending promoted rate. So keep that tip in mind. You may want to consider that. If you're not using promoted listings, then you could probably just offer free shipping on most of your items if that's what you've been doing. It's a good way to go as well.
All right, guys. Well, that's my update on promoted listings. For me, in summary, I think promoted listings is just kind of something you should just turn on, even if it's only at 1%. It's just one of those updates to eBay. You're gonna have to play ball, I think, and you're not getting drained by a lot of money from eBay or anything like that, especially if you only select a few percent on all your items. But you want to stay competitive, and again, if you have that rare item where you're only you and only a few people are selling it, you probably don't have to promote it as heavily. That makes sense, and especially if your prices are competitive and everything. So I hope this video helped you guys out. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know about any interesting tips, tricks, finds, or just leave a comment in the comment section to say hi. I always appreciate it. Or an idea for a video is always great too. I appreciate that as well. So I hope you liked the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good one.